Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville, or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes. Feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds. The high around 39. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a south breeze and a low around 28. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies return, but it will be breezy. We'll see a high near 53. Meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Everybody likes choices when it comes to gifts, and a Max Tan gift card offers spray tanning, UV tanning, and red light therapy at all Lincoln locations. Give the gift that everyone wants this holiday season by visiting any Max Tan location in Lincoln or at maxtan.net.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Welcome into the locker room, the most sacred of spaces in sports. Talking you through the behind-the-scenes conversations that happen behind closed doors. With former Nebraska football tight end Chancellor Brewington.
Chancellor Brewington, the 6-year senior tight end, finding his way into the end zone.
And former South Dakota State running back and Nebraska football assistant, Mikey Daniel.
Hand off to Daniel inside the 2 to the 1, and he powers his way into the end zone for a South Dakota State touchdown.
This is The Locker Room, brought to you by Pep Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
Yes, we are live from 1040 O Street on 93.7 The Ticket. This is The Locker Room here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bachman alongside the host of your show, Chancellor Brewington. Chancellor, how's it going?
Man, it's going fantastic. Having a great Wednesday afternoon. I hope everyone listening is having one as well. If you're watching live, go ahead and hit that like. If you're playing it back, go ahead and hit the like still. Comment, leave some below. And as always, we're going to talk Nebraska football, transfer portal, kind of this conversation of, excuse me, what Nebraska is going to be next year and how this momentum from this year, how it carries over, and if there is any momentum, and how to find the good pieces in the transfer portal, all that good stuff. And then at the end, we've been doing this book review, and I got plenty of books on the shelf that I read this year. And I got one of my favorite, probably I'll say top 2 favorite books at the end of the show that we'll be reviewing. So that's kind of the schedule. We appreciate everyone tuning in. I hope everyone's having a great day. We always start off with some type of quote card, some type of encouragement, because there's so much negativity out there. Why not be a beacon for light, a beacon for hope? My quote, it's my screensaver right now, so a little insight. It says, "Don't be afraid to dream big. No, bigger than that. Come on, dream even bigger." I maybe said it the wrong way, but the concept of it is dream, and whatever. And I guess we have to understand what that means. And I think for me personally, I can only speak for myself, and I feel like everyone can relate to it. I feel like you can relate to it too. Is we have so many limitations that we put on what can be or what should be or what could be. And those limitations come from maybe the way we were brought up, maybe mostly our environment, of course, our conditioning. And it's really hard to break those patterns and break those limitations. But once you do, then you can open up a whole new realm of possibilities. There's a quote that says the easiest way to mediocrity is being realistic. And I'm not for one to go do something rash that's gonna affect your health or anything in any way. But I will say this is that staying inside your comfort zone isn't gonna get you anywhere. And yeah, that's something I'm passionate about. I love talking about dreaming and what people really want, what they desire in life, because I feel like that's what lets there's like the analogy that like we're all energy, right? And that I don't know if Bach, you ever play outside and like drink from the hose?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like you know how it is, like you drink from the hose and like the water not coming out properly because there's like a kink at the there's some just holding it up, right?
Sure.
And all of a sudden, you get the kink out, you straighten it out, you iron it out, and all of a sudden the water flows out perfectly. Right. And I think sometimes, when we're not really chasing something, there's only a little bit of energy or a little bit of water flowing out. Once we get attached to our desires, what we really want, like, what do you really want? Like, for real, like, after football, I had to ask myself what I really want. Like, what do you really want? Like, what? And first of all, like, what makes you happy? All these good stuff, and then what do you want? And I think that's a process, and it's not fun because then you gotta really look back on yourself and be like, man, I guess I really did create this. Like I did create where I'm at and all this stuff. But they say where you point the finger, of blame, power follows as well. So if you point at yourself, you get the power, and you have the power now to create something new in your future. That's how we're going to start the show off. But going into Nebraska football, me and Bach were just talking off air on, kind of I would say a light day in Nebraska news. I would say the initial thing that popped up and what people probably seen is James Williams. We had him on the show. He's going to FSU. And I believe it was between FSU and I believe A&M. But yeah, happy for him. I wish him the best, and I know he's gonna go kill it there. And with him and Coach Knighton, and I believe Stephon Thompson. Who knows if there's anyone else gonna follow them there? But I wish them the best. From the locker room, we wish them the best moving forward. And got some good guys lined up for official visits. We had an Idaho DB, a starter, come to an official visit. We possibly are going to have the offensive tackle from Washington State, the 3-year starter, one of the best tackles in the nation, coming to visit Nebraska. And I think that would be really good. I mean, one thing you want is to beef up this O-line. I think there's some Polynesian ties with Coach Raiola and the Washington State recruit. So I think, or the Washington State player, former Washington State player in the portal. I think that would be great for the O-line to take that next step. And I think that if the more the O-line takes the step, I think everyone around them will take the step as well, and vice versa. And I think, we were talking in Bach about the momentum of this year. You lose your 5 out of your last 6, I believe, right?
Yeah.
5 out of your last 6, and then now you're on this cusp of this bowl game. You got this bowl game coming up, Pinstripe Bowl, I believe December 28th.
28th, yeah.
28th. Then after that, win, lose, or draw, you're still remembering the 5 out of 6, right? Because the bowl game, it means something, right? It means something, but it doesn't really mean anything for real, right? You're still gonna remember the 5 out of 6, right? You're gonna feel good because you remember you remember your wins. I mean, you like your wins, but you remember your losses, right? You remember all your losses,
Oh, yeah.
right? And so, I guess you get in this place of the off season, you get back, after January break, you get to winter workouts, and those 5 out of 6 are going to be talked about in theory, they would be talked about, at winter conditioning, mat drills, spring ball, spring meetings, fall or summer workouts, fall camp, like those things. They're going to remember those because you had a real opportunity to, win 9 games. And, people even were talking about college football playoffs. I was even talking about it, right? You're 5-1 at one point. How does the question for the people and question for you, Bach, and myself is how does Nebraska build momentum in the offseason? Is it merely through portal, or is it the development of the guys already there?
Yeah, it's interesting with Nebraska. I think we say it every year, offseason national champs, right? Because you can get a few headlines and get people going and get people pretty excited. The fact that you're opening up at Arrowhead, I think a lot of people are excited, like Troy Dannon said, for a drive that Husker fans can make as far as a road game rather easily. So the Kool-Aid will definitely start to stir up. You just wonder is how much, right? Because Matt Rule typically has a kind of launching point in year 3 of his program. He's known as a program builder. That's what you hired.
Mm-hmm.
So this is when you expect them to take that jump. Are they in position to take that jump? Like you said, coming off a season where you're losing 5 out of 6, and then you're losing a lot of guys to the portal, and you're shuffling up the staff quite a bit. You're gonna have, as opposed to the first couple of years, 2 new coordinators in. So there's just a lot of change, a lot of things, a lot of moving parts in this discussion. And and it's interesting because I was just talking to Steve Taylor. He's got the expectation that Nebraska does take that jump, does win 9 or 10 games next year, and I just wonder if that's where the fan base is going to be. You obviously want to move off of whatever you have this year, so whether that's 6 wins, 7 wins, right? You kind of want to move the goalpost to believe that you can get more from there. And so I think that naturally the expectation is going to move now from, okay, having a season like this, finally getting to a bowl game, that's always one step, but now to that next step. And unfortunately for Nebraska, to a degree, it's kind of been ironed out. That 9 wins is kind of that spot because they've run out a couple of coaches that had 9-win seasons and have never looked the same since. So that's kind of where I would expect the expectation to be. But I almost say that without, I don't know if that's a lot of on the field reasons. It's just kind of this program in totality of reasons. If you're going to win 9 games in the conference next year, you better have some all conference players.
Yeah.
And you better have some a dominating side of the ball or some positions that are really taking off. And I think you've got a few spots here and there that you can say, okay, this is a good, obviously great to get Emmett Johnson back and sort of like that. But I don't know if the makeup of this team as it is now feels like they're ready to make that push. But a lot of that might be for me, just again, going through losing 5 out of 6 and now to believe that you're going to win those games. When we say 5 out of 6, by the way, all except for the Indiana game, a 1-possession game. I mean, this is the same problem Nebraska's had. So it's not like they're way off, but you've got to be convinced now that after all these years, this is when they're finally going to make that move.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. I feel like every off season there's a theme, or just every season, and there's a theme, of this, and this, and right now it's the transfer portal, and all the guys that's leaving. Roster is really thin right now. I'm trying to put my words the right way. I'll say it like this: it's gonna be tough. This is the road got harder because I don't think you expected this many players to leave, And then you put on top of it that, you got your NFL guys leaving for the league and just seniors and all that good stuff. The Tom Hills, Sean Singleton, Isaac Giffords, Ty Robs, Isaiah Banks, Jamal Banks, Isaiah Nayer, the list goes on and on. Now you got to fill in all these positions. And you have to, I'm sure I'll say probably one or two positions have depth that you can go to the depth and say this guy can start now, right? You go to your, I don't know if it's a Bly Hill or something like that at corner, right? You can say, okay, our depth, we've developed this kid. Now he's ready to play, and maybe that's after spring ball, tested in fall camp, confirmed, first couple games of the season, right? But that's probably one or two cases, right? That might be a Vincent Shavers.
Yeah.
That might be Vincent Shavers for real. But that's a high caliber freshman who played big snaps. And I would expect him to play most of the games next year, right? And, depending on the Javen Wright situation, if he's coming back, whatever, gets the 7th year, yada, 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 he comes back. I would expect those two guys, right? And then, at the safety position, I can't think of anyone. You got Kobe Brett's hit the portal. There's a backup that back Gifford up, and Gifford's position's another thing. And just to stop on that real quick, Gifford's position, if they keep the 3-3-5, they're going to have to get super specific on a guy that can play that position, because that's not a position where you can just throw anyone there. That rover position is kind of that free hitter of the defense, guy that runs sideline to sideline, guy that can play in the box, can also cover, not expect to play too much man, but can play spy on a quarterback, can cover the back out the backfield, but also play man on a tight end, can also play man on a slot, can do all these, can tackle. You can trust him to be the single backer in the box sometimes. So that's a unique position, and whether they go and get a guy like Gifford who has that same skill set, that's a decision they're going to have to make. And, there are guys out there that are that have the same skill set. I guess the defining factor in that rover position is really like the heart. And I don't know how much you can really judge that unless you really just watch it on film and see what type of player it is. But as far as, you're probably going to have to get a real safety hybrid linebacker to play that position. But just then keep going down the line at the receiver position. We talked about it helping out Raiola. But yeah, I think the momentum of this year is going to be in the portal guys you bring in to help. And I'll be careful with this word, but change the roster, or change this team, because I'm not going to try to insinuate that there's a bad culture there, or there's something wrong with the team. But I would say the thing that they lack, maybe just from the outside looking in, is those just like headhunting dogs. And I don't know how much you can just I don't know where you get those, where you get them, right? I think you attract those. I think you attract like things to you. So those type of players who will just pad up, regardless, and will just believe in themselves. And you don't have to pat them on the back, and you don't have to baby them, right? You need those guys who can it's smash mouth football, not in a sense of we're literally, running the ball or whatever, but it's like there's just a controlled aggression, but the self-confident belief in themselves, and not a bunch of yes men. And that's something I hated, Bach, was a bunch of yes men. Like good guys, love them, I used to have a coach, not anyone at Nebraska, but you say, you guys are good guys. I would let you date my daughter, but I don't want to play but I don't know if I want you on my football team, but those type of guys, right? Yeah. You want those guys that aren't all the way there when they put them pads on. And I think those are the type of guys you need to recruit. And I think those type of guys will help this program win. I'm not talking about some reckless guys. I want some honorable human beings, of course. But and where you find those guys, hey, that is above my pay grade. Y'all go figure that out. But moving in the right direction. Competitors, man. I saw the Kolarvik and Coach Bush. I saw like first 10 minutes of it. Fantastic break, fantastic talk. He was talking about Jamar Chase and were you producing that?
Yeah,
it was awesome. He was talking about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. He's just like dogs, like guys that just go eat, that want to compete at a high level. And I'm not saying you have to go get the top 2 best receivers in college football in the last 5 years, but I am saying that you got to get some guys that just want to come in and compete. And if you're getting guys in the transfer portal, guys that already have production.
Yeah, it's a fascinating time. Of course, we know all these players in Nebraska lost the transfer portal. We're starting to get some of the names that they're going to add from the transfer portal, and that's kind of where we are. So it's kind of funny talking expectations for next year without filling out the rest of this team, but that's where college football kind of lands you these days. All right, let's take a quick break here on the Locker Room. We'll be back with more with Chancellor Brewington next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com. or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right, most recommended Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Looking for a last-minute Christmas gift for the Husker fan and the family? Look no further. Share the Husker spirit by purchasing a women's basketball starting 5 mini plan today for just $65. The plan includes reserved seats for 5 home Big Ten matches for just $65. The Big Ten schedule is packed, with the Huskers hosting 7 contests against 2024 postseason qualifiers. Help us show the Big Ten what Husker Nation is all about by purchasing your starting 5 mini plan today. Don't wait. Head over to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat. Go Big Red.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. If you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
At
At Midwest Bank, they want to thank all the generous donors who helped make their 2024 Turkey Drive for Schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, they raised enough money to provide 153 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, they made Thanksgiving Day for those families a little brighter. They want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
When we're building homes for people, we're really trying to advise on the things that are going to create value so that when they go to sell it, they're going to have equity so that they can go build their second home.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, the year has been a great year for Aspen Builders. We have had many repeat customers. We've been very blessed with great office staff, with great employees, and great subcontractors. We worked with a lot of new people building their dream home. We've built some great relationships. A lot of those relationships will continue. We'll be building them another new home down the road. So I'd like to take this time to wish all of our past customers and our future customers a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
With a wide variety of menu options, including the best prime and Wagyu steaks in Lincoln, if you haven't been to Tavern 180, you're missing out. Try any of their steak options paired with one of their well-known martinis, and this will soon become your favorite date night spot. Call your friends for a casual get-together where steak, shrimp, chicken, and tasty cocktails await your arrival. Tavern 180, located next door to Tanner's at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Outside is where winter adventure unfolds. On frozen lakes, icy landscapes, and snow-covered slopes, feeling the cold air rush by as you race downhill. The freedom of gliding with ease and the warmth of being together. From epic sled rides to the fun of ice fishing, it's all right here beneath Nebraska skies. Start your winter adventure at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Associations and this station.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here in the locker room on 93.7 The Ticket. Myself, Jake Bachman, alongside your host of the show, Chancellor Brewington. Chancellor, what do we got lined up for session number 2 here?
Yeah, so we currently have a cornerback from Idaho in here right now. Andrew, I just had his name. A good player. I just looked at his film. When I tell you we need to get this guy, boy, and I don't say that often. I really don't say that often, but I'll say this. We need a punt returner. We need a legit punt returner. We had Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. He's a senior now, and he was more of a guy, a sure-handed catcher, a sure-handed guy that, if you heels on the 9 or heels on the 10, whatever, he would catch that ball in traffic. And then you had Ja'Cory kind of get in there, and there are some. I wouldn't say there were some muffs, but there wasn't really like a true punt returner. A guy who was comfortable back there. And then in the kick returning game, Ja'Cory got off a little bit, and there are some instances there. But I I want to see like a guy come in and like really take that punt returner role. And I know that would make Husker Nation so happy is they love, I mean, the troubles we had in punt return from, the Illinois game, I think 21 with the Cam Taylor-Britt or, the Oliver Martin situations back in the day. And, just trying to find someone. I think even 21, we threw Samari Toure back there, like at some point of the year, right? Because we just needed someone to go catch, and field a punt. Because, punt is punt return is awesome because you really can flip the field in a good way. And you can you let a ball bounce at the 20, it rolls to the 5, that's 15 yards. Or you you could have caught a ball at the 28, it rolls to the 2-yard line. Starting your drive off at the 25 or, the 28 is much, much different than starting your drive off at the 5 or the 2-yard line. You can't run most of your stuff, right? And I think for Nebraska this year, a big struggle was our drive starting, like where we're starting our drives at. We're starting some of them at, the 1-yard line or the 2-yard line. We're catching a kick return and running out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Who was that? Indiana or Ohio State or something? I think it was Ohio State. But like those type of situations, like we can't have that. And to have an experienced guy back there, but he also plays corner. I believe his name Andrew. Why am I blanking?
Andrew Marshall.
Andrew Marshall. I mean, you go look at. If you look at who Nebraska has now, I think he would probably be 1A, 1B best corner. You got Malcolm Hartzog, you got Sayer Wright. Now, are those two going to stay? Who knows? After this bowl game, a lot of decisions still have to be made. And then, you still are you going to put, is the D coordinator Butler, having been acquainted with the defensive back room, are you going to leave Malcolm on the outside? Are you going to put him back on the inside? You're going to put him at safety? What are you going to do with Buford? Is he going to be on the outside? He started off year at the outside, then they moved him inside. I think he's more of a safety. I think he's going to be more of a safety. I think, the position that Deshaun played, Singleton, I think if you put Buford there, I think he would excel, coming downhill, making plays, also playing a little bit of man, but not too much. And then, or maybe putting Buf at that rover position, and that might be the solution. But Andrew Marshall, a good get in the portal. I hope we get him because we need a punt returner first, but we also need a corner. And that's just my 2 cents. What do you feel about, like, what's the number one position you think that we need?
I think they probably need some help on their front seven, just because of what they lost in the transfer portal. So specifically, I mean, you look at some at least depth for defensive tackle, defensive end. The cornerbacks, I think you feel pretty good about, just because you got a lot of guys coming back there. Linebackers, you probably use a piece here. I mean, it's college football these days, I suppose, is you're kind of peppering in at different places. They're obviously targeting wide receivers. So we'll see if they're able to land those on the offensive side of the ball, and then a couple offensive linemen. So and now I think running back. I think with Dowdell out of the room, I think you need another running back. Maybe not necessarily a guy to come in and take the starting spot from Emmett or anything, but a guy with experience, a guy, because they don't have much of that behind Emmett. Okay.
The question is, do you go get a quarterback?
And I think they also need a quarterback. And that's interesting. They've had the Purdue transfer on campus, but it's feeling like, and like many would expect, that you're looking for depth there, not necessarily somebody to come in and compete as a starter with Dylan. But I said this at the beginning of the show. They were in a similar position at one point under Coach Frost, where they had their quarterback of the future in Martinez, and they decided to go against somebody to come and compete with him. That guy happened to be Joe Burrow, so it might not be the worst idea to bring in somebody.
Wait, explain that story to me.
So Martinez was coming off his freshman season and was looking really good, right? I mean, had a really good freshman season, looked to be your franchise quarterback. And then Joe Burrow, who obviously had Nebraska connections, he had a family that had played here and wanted to play here initially, but didn't get the offer or whatever it was initially. So he went to Ohio State. After Martinez's year, he hit the transfer portal, and so there was about a week maybe or so where on radio, we were saying, well, should they offer this Joe Burrow guy to come in and compete with Martinez? Yeah. And,
this Joe Burrow guy.
Yeah. Which we didn't know what he would end up being.
Right.
And Nebraska ultimately didn't know what he would end up being, obviously, at the time either. And they decided against it, right? And so he transferred to LSU, and the rest is history for Joe Burrow. But, maybe there's a lesson to be learned there.
Yeah. That is a great story. That is a great story. Wow. I think we're gonna look back and be like, wow, we had Danny Kaelin on this team.
I think so.
I think he's gonna do good things at Virginia. Or maybe he doesn't. I don't know, but I would hope, my wish and hope for him would that he does that. But I think he has a really good, from what I've heard, just IQ about the game. Obviously body type, and then also just arm strength. I've heard the arm strength I've seen it, but I've heard a little bit more too. So I would love to see that, but that could be a name we talk about. I think some of these departures, and we didn't talk about Makai Bayer going to Mizzou, going in the SEC. So you got, in principle, in the SEC. So you got two SEC guys from Nebraska's roster. But it's gonna be interesting to see, flashback or flash forward in a year, or a year and a half, give or take, and see where all these guys are at in the portal, and be able to evaluate. Wow, this was a good roster. And I think what people have to understand is, all these guys going big places. That just gives, I would say, credit to Coach Rule and also to the guys as well. But just the roster that, this is a good team. They had a lot of good pieces. Things just didn't work out, of course, and that's where you have to go in and find someone to fill, not so much fill shoes, but to do better. I mean, you don't want guys to come in and fill shoes. You want them to exceed what that person, person previously did at their position. And I think that's the goal in the portal, and that's the goal of probably every football team right now, is to get guys who exceed what these former players did, whether they left into the league or they hit the transfer portal.
Yeah, and it is like you said. I mean, just you start to follow these landing spots. Butler went to LSU, so that's another
Right.
SEC type. Now you've got James Williams and Stephon Thompson over to Florida State. A lot of these guys, as was expected. I mean, that's why they were big names and felt like big hits at the time. They're finding big landing spots, and you're right. I mean, you've got to be able to replace them and exceed the replacement even. So do you have to do that in the portal? Can that be through guys that are developing on your roster? That remains to be seen. And that's kind of the big question going into next year, going into this bowl game, is John Butler in this defense, which is crazy considering the offense, the year that we had on offense, right? Where you had to let go of or demote an offensive coordinator, 2/3 of the way through the season. There's just a lot of expectation and belief that obviously this offense can get right under Dana Holgorsen, and I think that's fair. And now it's crazy now with the defense kind of being the question mark moving forward. But that's why I say that front seven is just there's a lot of good pieces that we're seeing now find good landing spots that were starters or getting a lot of playing time in that front seven, and it was a good enough front seven. I know they didn't maybe live up to everybody's expectations, but back-to-back top 25 defenses. That's earned. That's not given. I mean, that's something they had to go out there and get done. Obviously, you compound that with the loss of some of your seniors, particularly Nash and Ty up there. It's going to be a completely different looking front seven than maybe what the expectation was just a month ago.
Yeah, I think it sounds pretty bland, but in its simplicity, there's it's pretty profound. Score more points on offense. I think, whatever the defense does, and, I think maybe John Butler is the guy, right? And you bring him, at the defense coordinator position, and, he's going to stay in that top 25. But for Holgorsen in this offense, I think they have to find out how to score more points. And it sounds like, yeah, of course, Chance, like you got to score more points, but no, like literally, like you have to score more points. And I think, and another guy we didn't talk about, Borkature. I mean, we saw he's been on an OU visit. He's been on a Bama visit. you have good players. Like you have, and you still have good players on this team. But offensively, I think the number one goal is going to be score more points, and what guys can help us do that. What guys can help us do that? If you can't help us score more points, I don't know if this is the offense, because I would believe that the goal of this offense is to take all the pressure that we've been putting on the defense for the past 2 years, because we couldn't get things going, we couldn't score in the red zone, we couldn't convert on third down. Take that pressure off and let this defense play free. Because, you got some really good pieces. Imagine if this defense this past year, had the foundation of a good offense to fall back on. Not so much fall back on, but to alleviate some pressure and let them just play free and let them play aggressive at times. And, let Tony White call some things and not have to play conservative based on, scoreboard and time possession and all this good stuff, not knowing what the offense is going to do every drive. I think it will provide the defense to be even better than what we saw if we can score points. And I think that would be the emphasis in spring ball and in fall camp and obviously in season.
Yeah, and I think Emmett Johnson's a bigger part of that from going into the portal and coming back out, even though he never went in. This was before the portal opened, but you got to figure he's even more emphasized than maybe it was before as part of that equation. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got more on the locker room, including Brew's book review for the day. That's coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket. One of your favorite books, right?
Yep. Favorite book.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Celebrate Christmas this year with Venue Restaurant and Lounge and our Christmas to-go meal packages. Our options include rosemary brown sugar prime rib with horseradish cream, andouille cornbread pork roulade with a sage country gravy, pistachio cranberry butter roasted duck with an orange glaze, and an herb roasted whole chicken with lemon thyme cream sauce. You choose delivery right to your home or pickup at our Venue at Home storefront. Order today at holidaysbyvenue.net. That's holidaysbyvenue.net.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds from the high around 39. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a south breeze and low around 28. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies return, but it will be breezy. We'll see a high near 53. Meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
With a wide variety of menu options, including the best prime and Wagyu steaks in Lincoln, if you haven't been to Tavern 180, you're missing out. Try any of their steak options paired with one of their well-known martinis, and this will soon become your favorite date night spot. Call your friends for a casual get-together where steak, shrimp, chicken, and tasty cocktails await your arrival. Tavern 180, located next door to Tanner's at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an advocate you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you need, advocates you deserve. That's 877-42-LIBERTY or libertylawnebraska.com.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Looking for a last-minute Christmas gift for the Husker fan and the family? Look no further. Share the Husker spirit by purchasing a women's basketball starting five mini plan today for just $65. The plan includes reserved seats for 5 home Big Ten matches for just $65. The Big Ten schedule is packed, with the Huskers hosting 7 contests against 2024 postseason qualifiers. Help us show the Big Ten what Husker Nation is all about by purchasing your starting five mini plan today. Don't wait. Head over to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat. Go Big Red. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by F Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, welcome back into the locker room here on 93.7 The Ticket for our final segment of the day. And we'll keep doing what we have been doing, which is waiting for our final segment for our daily content here of Brew's Book Reviews. So we'll open it up here, one of Chancellor's favorite books.
Hello, cultured Nebraskans. Sit back, relax, and listen to Chancellor Brewington give you his honest review of his latest reading. This is Brew's Book Review on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Today on Brew's Book Review, man, I got such a special book. Such a special book. I will say this, guys. This is my favorite book I've read this year. My favorite book. And my book count right now is around like 83, 84 books for the year. So, that being said, I've read everything from Think and Grow Rich to As a Man Thinketh to trying to think of what else, all these world-renowned books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all the good books, right? But this book, The Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science by Thomas Troward. This book, I believe 1904, it was written. One of my favorite books I've ever read. Obviously, it talks about mental science, and Thomas Troward is kind of the guru on this new thought movement and kind of this mental science movement. And this book goes in depth on what the mind is, its functions, what a state of consciousness really means, what a subconscious mind is, or that he calls it subjective, which is just the same thing, and how that relates to the universal subjective mind, the process in imagining correctly, the creative process in the individual that allows us to create a thought picture in our mind and get emotionally involved with it and to objectively think of it as already fulfilled and already done, and to think of everything that we imagine on an absolute plane, that it's already existing, that it's not something that's going to happen in the future, because we pull thoughts from the quote unquote spirit, and spirit is not limited to time or space. So it is everlasting here and now. It's impossible for something to be in the future when it's in that realm or that absolute plane. And it's fantastic. And it talks about, your desires becoming real and the process of manifestation. And it's, it kind of debunks all this, wonky stuff out there about, manifestation, the law of attraction, all that good stuff. And it really breaks it down for he calls it the student. So when you go on this journey of this book, there's some things you probably won't understand, or you're a lot smarter than me. That just confirms that. But I didn't understand a lot of stuff, but I looked it up and really chewed on this book. Like, this book was like, it's only 100 pages. So you could read 100 pages in, a day and a half or whatever. This book took me like 2.5 weeks to really like go through and to really digest and to chew on it. But for anyone, this is obviously mental science, and anyone who kind of wants to understand more about the mind, I think this is a base foundation book. You read your As a Man Thinketh, your Think and Grow Rich, the Power of the Subconscious Mind, all those books that kind of deal with the mind. Well, this book goes in depth and explains, what the subconscious is, what the conscious is, what the intellectual mind is, and all that stuff. And really, really opens your eyes, and it reveals some things, not really, it reveals some things inside of you that have always been there and always will be there. And, it helps you and enables you to use them and tap into the creative power and, the life energy that's inside of all of us. And so I would highly recommend it. This is a 11 out of 10. This book is phenomenal, but always develop your own philosophy. Don't be anyone's slave. There might be things in this book that you disagree with, and that's fine. That's fine and okay. But as long as you're developing your own philosophy and your own way of thinking, man, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. I think Abraham Lincoln said, "Since I'll be no one's slave, I'll be no one's master." So always develop your own way of thinking, and chart your own path. Chart your own path on the way you think. But yep, that's all I got for the locker room today. I appreciate you, Bach. I appreciate everyone listening in the locker room. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 to 2 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. We out of here.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your holiday meal. Pre-order a 4-pound boneless ham for $50, a 12-pound whole smoked turkey, or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. During the Get Holiday Ready sales event, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for only $379 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1003769, $375 per month. Lease for 36 months with a free credit, 7,500 miles per year, $47.50 to assign, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 1225. See delivery details.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work